So welcome back to our Saturday class. Today, I called the sequence warrior variations, and that's exactly what we will do. We'll be moving through lots of warriors, particularly 1 and 2. And then just taking them, we'll either be approaching them maybe a little bit differently than I often guide, or we might actually in the position take them into different places, just to explore all of the different variations, the endless variations that you can achieve in any particular yoga posture, and in particular the warriors. Today we will be doing a lot of chaturangas, those high to low push-ups. So I absolutely fully encourage dropping to the knees, taking a child's pose when you need it, taking a sip of tea, water, coffee, just taking a second if you feel it's a little too much heat for 10 a.m. So just know that going in, and then hopefully by the end of practice you feel that you really moved with your body, and you've connected with your breath. So one of you just gave me a really great recommendation to do our warming yoga breath to warm up, and I think that's a splendid idea. So let's come on to our mats. Let's find a easy seated position. Legs can be crossed, you can be on your knees, sitting on a block or pillow, and begin to find your alignment. Breathing into the spine, feeling how long you are. And then you can even pull any flesh away from your sits bones to really feel yourself settling into the earth. Just let your hands rest gently. If you'd like a mudra, you can touch index or middle finger to thumb and have the backs of hands resting on your legs. And take a couple moments to just take slow and just steady breath. Doing precisely nothing except remaining aligned, becoming aware of your breath, taking stock of how you're doing this morning. Eyes can close. Good. Remembering on that inhale, it's that uplifting, lengthening energy. And the exhale is the downward, releasing tension, melting kind of rhythm. Take one more breath cycle like this. And release. You can open your eyes. Here, if you'd like to place your hands right below your rib cage onto your belly as we dip into our warming breath. So for this breath, we've done this before. We are going to keep our mouths closed, and we're going to forcefully blow out through our nostrils. The sharp little exhale. So it's like a exhale, spurt, 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 spurt. And you'll feel with the exhale, you will pull in the belly ever so slightly. So it's almost like you're squeezing a stress ball. The exhale presses the body, the belly in, and then that passive inhale, you'll feel the body expanding just in time for that exhale again. So just take a few slowly. Hands on your belly, take a deep breath in. And release. One more breath in, and then begin closing the mouth. And release fully. And with that inhale, it's almost automatic. You're not forcing that air in, but it's sort of an automatic expansion of the belly after the exhale. Let's take one more round, maybe a little faster, see if we can bring a little bit of heat into our body. So deep inhale to start. Complete exhale. One more inhale. And begin. And when you're nice and empty, take a full breath in and out. You can continue that at any point if you want to just take a pause during the practice and bring back in that warming breath. Let's come into a child's pose. So I like to have my big toes touching, knees open wide, set the hips far back, and just ease into it. Here, if you want to find an alternative warming breath, you can bring in your Ujjayi breath, that deep ocean-like breathing, where you can literally hear the breath in the back of the throat. And it's a slower breath, much slower than what we just did, Kapalabhati breath. But it also has warming qualities because of the friction, the slight contraction in the back of the throat, the steady expansion of the body and release. Take one more round of breath here, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. Let's shift onto our hands and knees, tabletop, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, thread that hand behind the left arm. Rest your head on the ground. Come in to thread the needle. On an inhale, pressing into the left hand as we lift the right hand back up. And exhale, send it down. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, lifts the left hand into the sky. Exhale, we thread it underneath the right arm as we rest our head on the floor. You can take any variation with the right hand that you like. Just breathing into this shoulder stretch. And then on an inhale, pressing into the right hand, inhaling the left hand up. Exhale, send it down. And here we are, perfectly situated for some cat and cows. So find these, I'm gonna fix my mat, but find your rhythm with your cat and cow. Inhaling to let the belly drop, shoulders come towards each other, gaze lifts. And then the exhale, rounding the spine, nice and steady, gaze towards your belly button. Inhale, ribs drop, shoulder blades come together, gaze lifts. And exhale, rounding it all, creating a little turtle shell, gaze towards your belly button. Take any additional movements that you like, anything that will help you warm up, anything that might need a little extra stretch or attention before we start more actively flowing. Hip side to side is a nice choice, little figure eights. And let's take a couple moments also to pay attention to our wrists. So when you have finished making these little movements in your body, come back to a tabletop position. You're going to turn the fingertips out, and if you can, bring your wrists to touching or at least closer to the center of the mat. And from here, we're going to take a couple circles to the right, nice and easy. When you did 3 or 4 on one side, switch to the other side. No rush. Wonderful. And then we're going to send our heels back over our hips back over our heels. And then you're just going to interlace your fingers, palms together, and just as if you're like making little figure eights in the air, little infinity symbols. And you can try to go the opposite way, which like I can't even like understand how to move my arms the other way. But if you can, extra points. And then shake them out. We're going to be doing some stuff on our hands today, so just want to make sure we feel that our arms are also warm. Excellent. Ugh, you know what it means when I'm taking off my socks. So let's come onto our hands and knees, arriving here for a moment, and walking our hands forward, tucking our toes, lifting those hips in the air, taking at least 5 full cycles of breath. Making any movements you need in the meantime. Hands pressed firmly against the floor. At the end of your 5th breath, looking forward, and on the balls of your feet, just begin to walk towards the front of your mat. Nice bend in the knees when you get there, and hang. You can reach opposite elbows if you like, and bring a nice little sway into your body. Releasing the tension in your neck so that your head can be heavy. Deep breath. And then gently releasing the hands, grounding through the feet, begin to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Ending with your arms over your head, tall mountain. And then exhale, hands come to prayer in front of your heart. And then open the palms at your side. Take a moment just to arrive into this mountain pose. And then release. So we're going to go through a couple cycles of just that sun A that we know well. When we start flowing, you'll be like, oh, I know what this is. Those of you who have been with me for a couple of months now. We're going to do 3 rounds in a row. So once you feel that you get the hang of the rhythm, just go in your own flow. Kind of make the practice yours. So I will certainly guide, especially in the beginning, but then take it on your own. So feet at the top of the mat, bend your knees, reach your arms up. Exhale, send it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel length in the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands, step 1 foot back and then the other. Option to drop the knees, chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. And come on back into your downward dog. 3 to 5 full breaths here. Excellent. And then repeat. You're going to walk those feet towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Tall mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. 2 more. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, melt down.
A nuclear meltdown is a severe nuclear reactor accident that results in core damage.
I don't know. Alexa's talking. Alexa, stop talking. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to plant the hands. Step the feet back. Find your vinyasa. And then when you come into your downward dog, 3 to 5 breaths. And then when you're finished with that cycle of breath, walk the feet up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Tall mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Final round in your own rhythm. And your downward, 3 to 5 breaths. And then you walk the feet towards the hands, halfway. Forward fold. When you've come to standing, take a moment with your hands at your heart and just breathe, gaze ahead, shoulders down. So how do we feel? Are we starting to feel a little bit warmer, a little more fluid? I hope so. We're gonna do a little bit more with this warm up. We're gonna take what we just did and add a couple of warriors in, a couple warrior ones. This as well, if we had more time, I would eventually be like, hey, when you have the rhythm down, just go on your own. But for today, we're only gonna do 2 rounds. So by the second one, you might still be like, I need to watch that a few times. And no worries. With practice, it becomes more familiar, muscle memory, all of that. So take one more breath. You're standing at the top end of your mat. Wonderful. So let's drop our hands down past our sides. Roll the shoulders back, deep inhale. Exhale, we're gonna bend our knees, send our hips back. And then on an inhale, come into your chair pose. Inhale, tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway, just like before. Exhale, down. Inhale, plant the hands, step it back, move through your chaturanga, high or low push-up, or high to low push-up. And then one breath in your downward dog, inhale. On the exhale, turn out the left foot, step the right foot in between the hands. Inhale, warrior one. Left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Exhale, lower down, frame the front foot, step the front foot back. Chaturanga. Always drop to your knees whenever you need a little break. One breath in, downward dog. Exhale, turn out the right foot on a 45-degree angle, step the left foot forward, catch your breath, inhale, arms up, warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands down, step it back, you got it, chaturanga. This time, 3 to 5 breaths in your downward. Really letting the suspended time, the length we spend in downward is enough time to make any refinements you want, any adjustments, help you sink in a little deeper. Then when you're ready, you're gonna step your feet forward, toes touching, bend your knees, inhale, hips back, chair pose. One breath in, exhale, straighten up, arms by your side. Whew. What a sequence. So you're basically framing the sequence with a chair pose, and we just threw in a warrior on each side. So let's try that one more time. Again, when you find your own rhythm, take it there. If it's not perfect, or you left something out, or you added something in, it's your practice. So it's whatever, as long as you feel warm. All right, feet at the top of the mat. Inhale, hands at your side. Exhale, sit those hips back. Reach those arms forward or up to come into the chair pose. Looking down, you should be able to see your toes. Inhale here. Exhale, come up and fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plant the hands, step it back, find your chaturanga or skip it. You can always skip a chaturanga. I skip them a lot in this longer yoga class I take once a week. I'm like, well, this is slightly longer than usual, so I'm not doing it. We're gonna turn out the left foot, step the right foot in between the hands, find your warrior one, right foot in front. One breath in. Exhale, frame the front foot, step it back. Optional chaturanga. After your downward, one breath here. And then turn out the right foot, step the left foot in front. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands, step left foot back. Optional chaturanga. Ugh, this is where we really start feeling toasty. And then 3 to 5 breaths in your downward. Come back into your body, into your breath. Maybe the downward dog becomes more of a restful position after all of that hard work. And then after your steady breaths, gaze forward, begin to walk those feet forward, toes come to touching, reach those arms back and forward, hips send back into our final chair. One breath in. Exhale, stand tall, arms at your sides. Well done, good work. So hopefully we're feeling a little more warm. I certainly am. Let's move into a little bit of a warrior two flow. So from here, we're not actually even we're gonna even change it up. This is actually based off of an Ashtanga primary series, the way we're getting into these. So instead of going upward, downward, chaturanga, all that stuff, we're just gonna stand at the top of our mat. Take your right foot out, turn your toes out. Then you're gonna continue turning the right toes out so it's pointing to the back of the mat, and then sink into your warrior two. Good, take a deep breath in, squeezing the legs towards each other, everything kind of pulling in this lower half. A lot of talk about pelvic floor activation in Ashtanga yoga. Whatever, whatever. Just feel activated in the lower half. Gaze over the right fingers. Inhale. And then exhale to reverse that warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, forearm to thigh. Stretch for the supported extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Gaze over front hand. Take a couple of slow breaths, maybe 2 or 3 cycles. Settling in. Excellent. And then straightening the front foot. You're going to rotate so that you are now doing warrior two on the left side. Left toes pointing forward, right toes pointing out, bending the right knee. Bending the left knee. Bending the right knee would be a little bit awkward here. So bending the left knee, making sure that we have time to make adjustments. So knee over second toe, legs kind of actively pulling in. If you understand pelvic floor activation, feel free to, whatever that is, do that. Lifting the torso so it's in line, north-south. And then on an inhale, feel yourself settling. And then the exhale brings you into your reverse warrior. Breathing into that left side. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, forearm to thigh. Extended side angle. Excellent. Inhale, warrior two. 2 or 3 cycles of breath. I keep calling them refinements. Make any adjustments, make any subtle movements here. It helps you really, really feel the posture. It helps you feel into your body here. What is it like to be in a warrior two for you? And then inhale, straighten that front leg. Whew, excellent. Right on the other side again, we're going to rotate the toes. We're going to continue to rotate so that our hips begin to square like we're coming into a lunge. We're going to drop the back knee. Hands come to prayer, twisting at the lower belly, connecting elbow to leg, gazing out the right. Find your twist. If you would like, you can lift the back knee off the ground a little bit just to see what kind of intensity that brings. You absolutely do not. That's just an option for play. Whatever you want here. Woo. Wonderful. And then untwisting, deep breath. Exhale, we're going to lift that back leg, move through that warrior two, and then bring it to the other side. All of those little sequences rising are just to help you transition smoothly to the other side. So now left toes are pointing to the front. You're going to continue to square the hips like you're going into a lunge. Woo! And let that knee drop to the ground. Hands come to prayer, shoulders back. On an exhale, twisting from that lower belly, connecting right elbow to left leg, gazing to the left or even out the back. Really feeling into this twist. If you like, you can lift the back knee for 1 second, 2 seconds, however long you want, just to feel into it, pressing out the back heel. Whoop. Excellent. Take one more breath. And then untwist yourself. You're going to lift the back knee, turn out the back foot, finding this little warrior two for a second. Whew. And from here, left toes are facing the front, right toes are turned out. We're gonna kind of bend into the back leg just to launch ourselves to the front of the mat. You can try that again if you want. Your legs are wide. You're just kind of launching yourself to, they call it samastiti. Samastiti, to the front of your mat. All right, take a breath. Inhale, let's find a little bit of a flow. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then plant your hands. Step one foot back and then the other. Find a load push-up, if you'd like, a high to low push-up. But instead of downward dog, let's just come into a child's pose. Take a minute. Continuing with that sort of slow steadiness that we started cultivating in our Thursday class. Slowing down so we can really pay attention. Excellent. And we're going to begin to rise. All right. Hands come a little bit ahead of your shoulders, tucking those toes, lifting the hips. Take a breath. Excellent. So now we're going to turn out the left foot, step the right foot in between the hands. Come into your warrior one, however best you get there. Just take a couple of breaths, maybe 3 breaths to really embody this warrior one. At any point, if it's too much, simply release it. Excellent. Knee should be over ankle. And then we're going to lower the hands, clasp them behind our back. Inhale to stretch them a little bit behind us. And then exhale, humble warrior variation. So you're going to send your torso down to the inner edge of the leg as the arms lift. Keeping mindful that the knee is over the ankle. The head is relaxed. The neck is relaxed. And you can even use your knee as a little support for that right shoulder if it feels like you're going too far. Take one more breath in. Exhale, begin to press away from the leg. Woo. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower down. Hands frame the front foot. You're going to step it back. Optional chaturanga. And then we will meet in our downward facing dog for the left side. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Slowing down, coming back to the breathing. Wonderful. We're going to turn out the right foot. And as best we can, step that left foot in between like we did in our warm-up. Inhale, arms up. Take about 3 breaths here. Let yourself arrive and maybe even settle for a couple of moments. And then when you're ready, reaching the arms back, clasping the fingers, interlacing them, stretching back, heart open, and fold. So both shoulders are coming toward the inside of that leg. You're not folding directly over the leg, but rather in this open space that you created. Relax the neck so the head can be a little heavier. Bring your awareness to the feet, the soles of the feet. Notice any manipulation you're doing of the floor with your feet to stay balanced. All of these little adjustments your body's making. One more breath. On an inhale, lifting the body away by pressing firmly into that front foot. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, framing the front foot. Chaturanga. So this is a nice time. Dropping to your knees if you'd like. And then downward facing dog. Whew. Well done. Several steady breaths. Take stock of what you've done, how you're feeling. Excellent. I'm going to turn around, so I'm not facing the back for this. You're going to turn out the left foot, step the right foot in between, warrior one. Whew. And then exhale, you're going to open into your warrior two. So you might need to wiggle out the feet a little bit more. Here, you have the option to repeat what we just did. So we'll all go into the reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Extended side angle. Or if you'd like, you can begin to slide that right hand further towards the floor. Gaze up. Heart still twisting towards the sky. If this is comfortable and in your practice, maybe you want to take a half a bind by dropping the right hand down behind your back. I'm sorry, that's your left hand. Left hand behind your back. And maybe you feel so active in your core, you can lift the right fingers off the ground and actually reach underneath your leg for the opposite hand. Gaze is up. These are all just different options. And absolutely, if this is more in your practice today, take whatever version. These are just options for your choosing. I'm like not a bind person, so I do this for you. And then release wherever you are. Come back into your warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Excellent. Now from here, your legs are pretty wide. So I'm just going to ask you to bring your back leg in a little bit just to shorten the stance. We're going to come into a triangle, but not the usual super long triangles that we often get into. We're going to do a much more direct triangle. So you're going to use your peace fingers on your right hand. You're just going to go right to that big toe. Rather than sending the hips out, having a wide stance, small stance, drop right on down. Reaching your toe is challenging right now. A block is excellent, or you can have a slight bend in the knee and reach for your shin or any part of your leg. Left hand can reach up. Keeping a micro bend no matter where you are in your leg will help protect your knee. Take a deep breath in and out. We're going to hold this for another cycle of breath. Just settle. And then bend that front knee. Reach it up, hands to your hips, and let's just pivot to the other side. So let's take a moment, come into your warrior one. Left toes pointing forward, right toes on a diagonal, 45-degree angle out, and then open your stance a little wider, warrior two. Good, kind of gently dropping that tailbone in just to create a little more length in the spine. Gaze over left fingers. Good. Inhale. I'm sorry. My inhales and exhales are switched up. Inhale to stay. Exhale to reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle of your choice. You're going into the bind. First, let that left hand reach towards the ground. Maybe we drop the right hand behind our back. Just feel into that. That's a lot on the scapula as well. And maybe we feel our core, the side body engage. We lift the left fingers, bring it underneath our leg, try to hold our hand. If you are there, see if you can bring a little more expansiveness to the front body. Can we open the heart rather than collapsing down? Gaze is up. 2 more cycles of breath. Landing wherever you are. And then releasing, coming back up, straightening that front leg. Lots of work in these warriors. We're just going to shorten our stance a little bit. Bringing the back leg a little closer to the right, but keeping the feet as they are. Left leg pointing to the short edge, right leg pointing to the long edge. Peace fingers on the left hand. We're literally just going to reach down to the big toe. No frills in this one. Right arm can lift. Again, take wherever you need. Each side is different. I don't mind if like you did one thing on the other side. It doesn't have to be the same when you switch sides. Good. Just gonna feel into the strength of this. Can you pull up on that toe if you're holding the toe and also press down with the toe so you create a little resistance? One more breath. And then exhale, bending the front knee, reaching back up. Whew. And let's do a little bend of the right knee to send your feet back to the top of the mat. You can do that again too. I always think it's like really fun. Just kind of, man, my mat is like zooming all over the place today. Take a breath. Take a little break if you want a sip of water. I know we're moving technically slowly in terms of pace, but we are activating so much. So I wouldn't be surprised if like later in the day you started feeling it, where it's not just like, oh, this is like a stretch in the moment, but like later you're like, oh, I worked here. So make sure you take your breaks. Shake it out. All right, we're gonna come into a little bit of a balance into warrior three. I'm gonna step forward off my mat for optics. You can see me a little bit better. So I really like this approach to balancing. I just learned it. You're just gonna step forward with your left foot and just ground into that foot. Like really feel that step is what lands you onto that foot. You're almost ready to balance on it by lifting the other one to take another step. So really feel that left foot forward, that left foot steps forward, that brings your weight onto the left foot. And you just continue with that momentum, bringing the right knee in, giving it a hug. Flexing the foot. Doing ballet when I was younger, I always had mirrors in front to balance with. So actually looking at my laptop helps me balance because I see my own reflection. It's weird. I feel like normally it would be easier to just stare at a spot that's not moving, but it brings me back. So it's actually helpful. In class, but I can't see anything, I'm like all over the place. So give that a nice little squeeze. And then we're gonna shift into warrior three. Take any arms that you like. So you're gonna begin to release your grip as you gently tilt your body forward, heel kicks towards the back of the room. Your gaze shifts from ahead of you to just in front of you. And the lower you go, find a new gaze. Take one more breath and prepare to bring it back. The knee comes back in on an exhale. So allow your gaze to adjust with every small movement. Every couple of seconds, I'm finding a new gaze. Hug it in. And then let it lower. Shake it out. Well done. We're going to do that on the other side. And what I was just saying about the gaze is as your head literally shifts along this like axis, my lips just got really chapped. You can look at something straight ahead and keep your eyes focused on that until it no longer helps you, and then find a new focus right away. As your body moves, keep your eyes on that focus and then drop it again. Almost like you have 3 or 4 points for your gaze. Where your gaze goes, your body flows, or something like that. Basically, your body follows where you're looking. All right, so let's do our lovely approach. We're gonna step the right foot forward. All of a sudden, our whole weight is on that one leg, just like we want. Continue with that momentum, lifting the left leg, reaching for shin or behind the thigh, squeezing that in. Whatever feels good. Find a gaze, find a focus. When you are ready, on an exhale, begin to shift into warrior three. You can try out the gaze thing, or go wherever feels good for you. Back toes pointing to the floor. One more breath. And on an exhale, reverse. Bring it all back in. And then lower it down. Whew. Good work. Shake it out. Well, we have earned our floor time. So however you like to get to the floor, come on to the floor. I like the just forward fold that just kind of never ends. You just keep bending, bending, bending till you're in a tabletop. We're gonna come onto our backs. Whew. tug in the knees. You can gently rock side to side. You can give your thighs a little massage with your fingers, nice little squishes. Good. Taking a deep, full breath here. And let it out. Fully exhale. Feels good to lay down after all of that standing activation. From here, we're going to plant the soles of our feet on the ground. Walk the heels in towards our booty so we can almost touch the heels with our fingers. We're going to come into our bridge. So palms flat, shoulder blades against the floor. Inhale to press the lower belly and back towards the floor. And then on the next breath, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, bridge. You can always slide a block under your tush, actually right at the base of your lower spine, making sure that the block is not just like on your spine. Make sure it's like supportive on that like flat, there's like a flat bone right above your tailbone. Exhale, lower down. And if you don't have a block to place on that mysterious flat bone, you can always use your hands. One breath here. Exhale, press the lower back into the ground, begin to lift. If you want, you can clasp the hands underneath and you feel the shoulder blades coming together. A couple more seconds here. And then exhale, release the hands, lower, nice and steady down. And try not to just give into gravity, really control the landing. Everything is a flow, everything is smooth. One more time, inhale, pressing lower back in, engaging the glutes as we lift high into the sky. Maybe you want to experiment by going on the balls of your feet or lifting a leg. One more full inhale and complete exhale. And on the tail end of that exhale, we gracefully come on down. Arms come out to a T or to goalpost arms, and gently let the knees windshield wiper to the left and to the right, just to release any tension that we just generated. Excellent. And let's just tuck in our knees and take a couple of rock and rolls. So you're just rocking up and down. And if you don't get completely up, that's okay. You're just trying to get a little momentum. You might have quick rolls, you might have slow ones. You're just basically trying to massage the spine a little. And then let the momentum slow down and come on back to your backs. Soles of the feet on the ground, arms out. You're going to cross right leg over left. I'm just going to twist as you drop the knees to the left side. Gaze can be over the right shoulder. We've been holding on and activating and engaging so much in this practice. Squeeze the inner thighs together, engage the glutes. Everything we did was so focused, and a twist is a really nice opportunity to really let it all go, to tell your body, okay, relax now. Relax now. Your eyes can even grow heavy, eyelids heavy, eyes can close. Signaling to your mind and body that it's almost time to rest. Inhale to bring those knees back up, nice and slowly uncross. Then you're going to cross the left leg over the right this time. Let the knees drop to the right side. If you'd like a little more activation, you can press the left shoulder blade in towards the ground to get a little bit of balance, but it's a twist. It's all about what you can let go, not what you can add to it, but what can you lose? What can you shed in the twists? What can you wring out from your experience, from your life? What can you bring out? I'm gonna bring out my bad attitude that I had this morning. Sometimes I just like wake up with a bad attitude. I'm just like, ugh, everything is so annoying. So to get back to twist, this is a nice opportunity to just be in yourself, let go of the things that are truly dragging you down, even if just for the twist, let it go. And then inhale, let those knees come back to the center, knees up to the sky. Deep breath in, full, complete exhale. And I like to imagine here that even though we're probably looking up at our ceilings, maybe we can imagine actually the sky above, a nice sky with white clouds, or maybe it's a sun-setted sky with a lot of colors and vibrancy. Just take a moment to gaze up, kind of, using your childlike wonder, gaze up through the ceiling and at the sky above. Continuing with our childlike inspiration, we're going to come into a happy baby. So just bring those knees in, flex the feet. You're going to take your hands, reach the outer edges of those knees. Knees can be inside your elbows if that's more comfortable. I generally let the knees fall outside of my elbows so that I really have some, I feel like I can really kind of control them with my hands. Almost like my feet are the, it's like I'm playing a video game and my feet are the little, like, what are those little controls, the knobs and stuff? I clearly don't play a lot, but I almost feel like I'm like, choo-choo, like, and I really have the control here. These are my settings. So whatever comes to mind as you're in your happy baby. The point is we're still in this releasing state of mind, state of body, state of breath. So on the exhale, can you sink a little deeper? Can you locate, can you identify tension and breathe into it, and gently and like lovingly release the tension. Invite it to step back. And with love and kindness, let this posture be one of opening, of stretch, and just sort of suspension. Just hanging here, you know what's next, which is our Shavasan. So one more breath in this happy baby. And you're going to carefully bring the soles of your feet to touch and gently guide the legs towards the ground. And if you'd like to take your Shavasana in this bound ankle pose, I mean, your ankles aren't really bound, it's more the soles of your feet, but I didn't write this stuff. You can stay here, pillows under your knees can be really extra nice. Otherwise, you can extend your legs long or take any alternative of your choice. Take a moment for the little small movements that we sometimes need to then find stillness, little itching or wiping away sweat or a little squirming. When those have run out of your system, find an exhale to arrive to this most important and valuable position, your Shavasana. If you notice a resistance to this restful place, a frustration or an impatience, that is all such valuable information. See if you can increase your threshold for patience and reframe Shavasana as a place of restoration, as necessary rest, and one of integration. Some say that you need the asanas, the movement practice of yoga, simply as a stepping stone to achieve your Shavasan, to arrive fully to this present moment of stillness and of simple, yet so hard to achieve existence. Just presence. So just breathe into the present moment. You are doing it correctly. You are perfect. I'm going to fade into the background for a couple of moments to allow you the opportunity to be fully just with yourself and the experiences within and around you in your present moment. You notice frustration at not being able to be fully present, or wanting to be more present or more available to your experience, and all of this talk that we hear all of the time. Recognize that that is an ideal. Your experience is what's real. We strive for ideals, but what is so important is what is real to you along that journey. We may never reach the ideal. I don't think anyone ever does reach the ultimate yoga ideal, regardless of what they say on their YouTube channels. It's working towards these goals, working towards peace. And then where are you along the way? That is what is real. Take one more breath in. And a complete full exhale. Begin to bring small movement into your body in a loving act of waking it back up. If you'd like, you can bring your arms overhead in a big stretch. And when you are ready, you can choose to roll over onto your favorite side and press yourself gently up to that easy seat. Eyes come back to close, bringing one hand to your heart, the other hand to the ground below. I like to have my left hand on my heart, right fingers reaching towards the earth. So I wouldn't have a Catherine Flow practice if I didn't, of course, bring in my meditation man, Jeff Warren, who also meditated on this idea of what is real versus what is the ideal. And he said something that I thought was very profound and sticks with me, and maybe it will also have something for you. It says, the reality of where you are is always more important than the ideal of where you imagine you should be. The reality of where you are is always more important than the ideal of where you imagine you should be. So let's take a deep breath in. On the exhale, send gratitude to the earth through the extended fingers. Inhale, press the right hand on top of the left. Inhale. And then exhale, send gratitude to yourself, to your loved ones. Inhale, hands to prayer. Exhale, gentle bow forward. You can open your eyes. Here, I'd like to extend my deepest gratitude, truly the deepest that I have, I extend to you. You could just have this like gratitude line of candles, that we just continue to light, and then we have world peace, and it would be terrific. Anyhow, but truly thank you for being a part of this community. It's really something that I cherish, and I hope that there's something there for you each and every time. I offer you namaste, and I offer you the best of Saturdays so far. Take care, everybody. Back to our normal time next week, unless I hear otherwise.